What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. Pittsburgh Steelers offseason is in full swing. Free agency starts about 8 days from when I am recording this. Who knows when I'll upload it, but the draft is probably about 6 weeks away at this point. I've been covering all the offseason, talking about all the cuts Pittsburgh has made, going over certain position battles and things like that. I just did a video in the last 2 weeks, one about all the Steelers free agents and who we should keep and who we should cut from our roster, and then also a video on last week about who the Steelers should target in free agency as far as filling their own holes with free agents from other teams. That video is on my channel. Go check that one out. Today, I just want to do a brief overview of what I think and how I rank the Steelers' 5 biggest needs in this upcoming NFL draft. Now, I'm not talking about exactly like what my mock drafts are going to be yet. I'm not going to start naming players and who exactly we should go after. That's going to be a different video. I'm going to do a scouting video. I'm going to do a couple mock draft videos. You're going to see plenty of that on this channel. Today, I'm just going over the 5 biggest positional needs for the Steelers in particular order of how we should prioritize and what positions we should draft in this draft. Now, there's going to be 2 points of contention. I'm going to start off heavy on this list, and some of you guys are going to want to turn this video off immediately. I hope you stick with me and listen to me. But number one, I'm not drafting a quarterback in this draft. There is no point to me. We're not going to trade up and get Caleb Williams, and he's the only one that's got major immediate upside. I don't see guys like Bo Nix being immediate guys you can come in and start. I don't think Penix is good at all. I think he's super overrated for us. We already have a better version of that played for us last year, in my opinion, and his strengths being some similar strengths to Mason Rudolph. I think what we're going to do for quarterback is we obviously have Pickett here. We've got our new coordinator in place. We're going to try and re-sign Mason Rudolph, which we should, and we're going to try and bring another veteran guy from the free agency into our team, like a Ryan Tannehill. I know you guys don't love that. I like Ryan Tannehill. Bring in a veteran guy like a Brissett or a Tannehill on top of Rudolph and Pickett and have those 3 guys with the new coordinator in a legit competition where the best man legitimately starts. Have all 3 of those guys come in evenly, let them do their best in camp and preseason, and start the best guy. Having another rookie on this team does not help you. You've got a relatively inexperienced guy in Mason who just started playing and playing well. You've got an inexperienced guy in Pickett, and you're going to want at least one veteran on this roster. There's no point to bring in a rookie, especially if you're not drafting in the top 3 or 4 picks. You're not going to get a guy in the mid-first round who you're going to like. Pickett already put us in this spot. You're not going to draft a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th or 5th round that's going to be competitive immediately. It's not going to work. There's no point. Don't draft a quarterback. Number 2, the second point of contention, offensive tackle was on my list, but it's lower than you guys think it will be, and I'll tell you why as we get to it. I'm going to start with number 1 and go down. So I think we have 1 first-round pick, 1 second-round pick, 1 third, and 2 fourths. So those are kind of the spots. 4th round is kind of the cutoff for guys you would want to bring in to be starters immediately. So I've got my 5 biggest needs here, and I'm going to start with number 1, and that is center. I think it's obvious. Not going to talk about the names, obviously, but I think we needed to upgrade from Mason Cole big time in this season, coming off this season, and then we cut Mason Cole. So Mason Cole's gone now altogether. We need a starting center. There is not currently one on this roster that you feel comfortable with. James Daniels could play center, yes, but he's playing pretty well at guard, and you want to keep him there. Yeah, Nate Herbig could come in once in a while and spell you. He's got some center experience, but he's more of a backup. He's not a guy you want to be your full-time starter. There is not a full-time starting center that is naturally at center that you want to play center all year long on this roster. Center is what you want to go after immediately, and there's only 2 top-level centers in this draft. I'm also putting this order based on the accessibility and the possible guys in this draft that could fit our system. There are only 2 A-level centers in this draft. If you miss one of those 2 because they're going to go early, if you wait till the 2nd pick, you're probably not going to get them. You might get the second one. You're probably not going to get them by round 2. If you want one of the 2 elite centers in this draft, you're drafting those guys first. So I'm going center as our number 1 need based on the draft capability of the guys here, and the need for us to fill as a starter. Center is number 1. Number 2 is cornerback. I have cornerback at number 2 because on this roster right now, we got JPJ. We nailed that last year. He came in, started playing in the middle of the season, and was a shutdown number 1 press man corner. He played great. Aside from him, what do we know for sure? Patrick Peterson tried to play corner coming into the season. He was a lot slower and getting beat a lot more than we expected. He got moved to safety. He played a lot better there. But for him being a starting corner, either slot or outside, he's looking a little too slow these days. He was getting cooked at corner. When he played safety, he got back to being an all-star, but playing at corner was not his best time. Corey Trice, 7th round draft pick last year, might have been the steal of the draft, got hurt in camp before he got to play. So he's coming off of a long season-ending injury, and he is a rookie that has not played a single down in the NFL. Do I think he's going to be a really good potential player and a possible starter in the future? Yes, I do. Do I think he's able to step in day one right now, coming off a year-long injury and not playing in the NFL yet? No, I'm not sure. So Corey Trice is going to be good, but is he good right now? Not yet. Darius Rush, another guy who's got a young guy with potential. Could he be a full-time starter right away? I don't think so. Levi Wallace, I'd cut him immediately. I know he started for us in the past, and he played pretty good for us 2 years ago. But he got beaten a lot of big plays 2 years ago, and he played absolutely garbage terrible this past year. He was one of the worst cornerbacks in the entire league this past year. Let him go. He is not a guy you want starting. He's not even a guy you want as your third outside corner. I wouldn't trust him right now to be a backup based on his last year. Not a chance. Let him go. Pierre's not the guy either. Cut Wallace and Pierre. Rely on Trice for the future, but Porter needs somebody outside right now who can play. You'd rather get a veteran, but I think you want a corner in this draft to be an immediate impact guy. And hopefully you're going to get a guy that can play either inside or outside because we could use help at the slot and the outside corner spots. There's only one guy that I know plays both of those very well in college right now, but this cornerback class overall, I'm looking at about 10 good guys who are really good, some of which who could be there in the late second, early third round, who could be a good second or third pick for us. So corner is my number 2 need because we need a starter out there, and this is a pretty deep corner draft where even waiting after the first round, there are still plenty of good names. Third spot, offensive tackle. Why did I put tackle at third when most people have it at 1 or 2? Because, again, there's no starting center yet, and we need a second corner. If we had to ride with Dan Moore as our other offensive tackle, he started in the NFL for the past 3 years. He can be a starting tackle. Do I want him there? No. Do I think he's our worst offensive lineman after we get a center in the draft? Yes, I do. I don't want him to be our full-time starter anymore at all. He could be a swing tackle as a backup. But if he had to start, he's proven for 3 years now that he could start, and he's had some good moments amidst his struggles. So this is our third need compared to our first or second. But that being said, you don't want Dan Moore as your starter. You brought in James Daniels, you brought in Sayamalu, you drafted Broderick Jones, and all 3 of those guys are playing well. You're going to hopefully draft a center in this draft early and have your franchise guy. Now all you got to do is upgrade Dan Moore. You got a guy who can start. Let's replace him with a better guy. There should be some tackles who are solid here in the second to third round mark. I would look at a good third round tackle here or even trade up a few spots possibly with our second, fourth round pick, and you got yourself a shot at a solid tackle who can come in and compete with Dan Moore and push Dan Moore. And if Dan Moore plays better, that's a positive. If he doesn't, you got a new guy to come in and start. Fourth overall need for us, inside linebacker. We brought in a lot of guys last year, and they all got hurt. So we had to rely on 5th and 6th string guys who didn't play badly, but we could do a lot better. Quan Alexander is going to be gone. He got hurt in spite of being really good at the start of the season because coming off a torn tricep or something, torn quad, tore something in his leg last year. He's going to be out till December. You're not going to bring him back. Cole Holcomb was good when he played there, a lot of tackles, but a little inconsistent and got hurt for most of the year. Landon Roberts was by far our best inside linebacker, but he got hurt multiple times throughout the year and missed several games last year. And then you got Mark Robinson, who we couldn't even trust to be our 6th stringer because we kept bringing guys off their couches and off the street to start over him. So let Mark Robinson go. But yeah, with that locker room, you don't feel terribly inspired. Cole's very good when he's healthy. Roberts is good when he's healthy. You need at least a third guy. Quan's going to be gone. You want to get somebody else in here who can be impactful. You want to draft a young rookie who has good pedigree. And usually inside linebacker for the last couple of years has been a deep class. I have to look more at this class and see if we have the depth for the 4th round inside linebacker, but there has been for the past couple of years. we need to draft at least one new guy to come in here. Healthy, fast, coverage guy can spice things up. And then 5th, defensive line. I don't know where you're going to draft it for, if you're going to draft it on the outside of the D-line or the D-tackle spot. But you got a lot of solid guys on this roster, but you need to upgrade. You got Ogunjobi, who could be a cap casualty in spite of playing good last year. You got Cam Hayward, who's still ageless and playing good despite his age, but he's getting very, very old. His body's getting beat up. You got guys like Montravis Adams and guys like Armon Watts, who played pretty good in spots last year, but could use an upgrade. We have a lot of guys like Leal, who need to see what he's worth. Benton was good last year. Loudermilk was good in relief duty, but not really a full-time starter. You got a bunch of guys on that D-line who are good to really, really solid, but you need an upgrade somewhere. Bring a fresh guy in to push Loudermilk and Leal and see if he can be effective at being kind of that other guy alongside Benton who could be your future, who could be a franchise future guy. So that's what I would do. Defensive line 5th, inside linebacker 4th, offensive tackle 3rd, cornerback 2nd, and center 1st. Those are my rankings. I think most of us have kind of similar or the same positions. Where do you guys have them ranked? What do you think of my list of positions? And what is your list? Please tell me in the comments below and let's talk about it. Do you agree with putting tackle at 3rd, or is that too low? Do you agree with no quarterback, or do you want to draft one? Do you trade a pick to trade up? Do you trade back and get more picks to fill more holes? What do you do position-wise in this draft? Not talking players yet, just positions. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you like these Steeler deep dives, go check out my free agency videos, check out this video, and look forward to my future draft coverage coming up where I break down which players to draft and why. I'll see you guys soon. Go Steelers.